Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Some breaking news this Sunday morning. Terence Steele is the next Cowboy to get a big extension done with the organization, broken by, I believe it was Adam Schefter earlier this morning. A 5-year, $86.8 million contract extension. That is $17.36 million per year. $50 million guaranteed. Both figures, as we'll get into, place Steele in the top 10, and one puts him in the top 5, the guaranteed money for the right tackle position. The Cowboys have been very clear they wanted to get a deal done with Steele. He was going to be a free agent next season. That is now taken care of. Now, what I don't know, and I'm sure we'll get the exact details as the contract gets going here, is what this does to the 1 year, $4.5-ish million that he had as an RFA. If that is not included, this would really become a 6-year, like $90 million contract, or a little bit more than $90 million, with plenty of team control. The guaranteed money probably gives you an out after 3-ish years, maybe 2.5 years from that perspective if you want to use the post-June 1st side of it there. Relatively speaking, compared to other right tackles who have gotten paid, this deal kind of comes in on the lower end. It is not a top-of-the-market deal. In fact, it's less than what Tytus Howard got, not in guaranteed money, not in total money, but in the average per year and in the length of the deal. It's more favorable for the Cowboys as well. So a big-time deal gets done for Terence Steele that I think is slightly below the market. We'll talk more about Tytus Howard and what he had done versus what Terence Steele had done. And I was a bit worried that Howard's deal, which came in a full $1 million more per year, on shorter length, was going to really kind of cause issues in the Terence Steele extension talks. But he goes from a UDFA, who I did not think was going to be particularly good, and the Cowboys and Steele and Duke Mayweather have done a great job of developing him. If you're worried about the injury, he's been good to go. Like, this has been one of the quicker rehabs we've seen. This was not even like a Michael Gallup quick rehab. This was hey, he's good to go. Like, he attacked it every day. He did a really, really good job of getting healthy. So Steele is in good shape and is now a long-term part of your core offensive line. Steele's money begins to hit the books around the time, Tyron Smith's money comes off the books, and maybe around the time Zack Martin's real money comes off the books, and Steele's deal will be back like all these deals are. We'll get the details, hopefully, for Monday's live show. But grade the Terence Steele extension. 5 years, $86.8 million. That's $17.36 million per year. $50 million guaranteed. Sticker shock, I am sure, but it was a sizable deal nonetheless. And again, I think it's a bit under what the market would have paid. That is going to be today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote A, B, C, D, or F for the Terence Steele extension. All right, so let's check in then on where Steele sits among other right tackles in the NFL. Lane Johnson is the highest paid right tackle at $20.19 million per year. We'll list Jawaan Taylor on here, knowing there's some left tackle, right tackle stuff in KC too, but we'll put him on here for now at $20 million. That's the former Jag turned Chief. Ryan Ramczyk, the Saints right tackle, who got paid a while ago, makes $19.2 million per year. He is third. Fourth on this list is Tytus Howard, and that's probably your best comparison. Recent deal, same state, young player, ascending player. He makes $18.66 million. And if you compare what Howard has done in his NFL career to what Terence Steele has done in his NFL career, Steele is the better player. Now, Houston, I think, is hoping they get more out of Howard, and they had not as many players worthy of paying. But I think Steele is a better right tackle than Terence Howard is, and Howard is making more per year by about $1 million and on a 3-year extension. In general, not always work. It doesn't always work out this way, but it's a good, example, barometer, benchmark, whatever word we want to use there. Every year you add to a contract, you should be adding about $2 million per year. Because most contracts are descending. With the way you structure it, you backload it, you're not always going to get that 5th year money. So $2 million-ish is the good example to use. There are some exceptions, like the Tyreek Hill deal has the 5th year that's like $12 million more than any other year, or something like that. It's ridiculously backloaded. It's not guaranteed. You probably won't get. But in general, that $2 million is the right price tag. So if you had done a 5-year deal for Howard with a similar structure of a contract, you'd have been approaching $24 million, or at least $23 million. So I do think that is a big deal. Dallas went longer, which helps their cap with the way they're going to structure it, and they got him for cheaper. Brian O'Neill is 5th at $18.5 million. Mike McGlinchey, who signed this past free agency cycle from the Niners to the Broncos for just being an average-ish right tackle, makes $17.5, the same figure that Braden Smith makes for the Colts. And then it's Terence Steele at $17.36. That all focuses only on the new money. Some will try to spin it as to not. New money is what matters. That's the comparison, because that's what's being signed. You can manipulate the cap with your previous contracts, and I think Dallas will. And my expectation is they're going to make that base salary that Steele had this year into a signing bonus. They'll flip it. There's guaranteed money he already had, and the year 1 cap hit might actually drop a little bit for Steele. Maybe it'll. We don't have the exact details on what the signing bonus is going to look like, but if it's I'm doing this on the fly, by the way. So if it's $50 million per year or guaranteed, and 4 of that is, the guaranteed money this year. You're probably going to guarantee your year 2 salary. That's $10 million, 5-year deal. So you're probably looking at maybe a $25-ish million signing bonus. So maybe it jumps up by $1 million. But it shouldn't be very much from that perspective. So it should be a relatively flat cap hit this year, which you can then roll over the extra money next year to pay him from that perspective. So what is your one-word reaction to the Terence Steele deal? Get your comments in for me right now. Cowboys hopefully are not done making moves. I would like to see a CeeDee Lamb deal get done in the near future. That'd be ideal for the Cowboys. Maybe you work out something with Dak between now and next free agency to get his cap number down and manage that as you continue to be ultra, in your middle of a great window, I should say. Beyond that, they do have the franchise tag open for players next year. Jawaan Curse is kind of is a heart and soul of that defense to a certain extent. Not as good as Micah, but he's a big leader in that locker room. I'd like to find a way to keep him. Pollard will be a free agent, but you've locked up your 2 main guys. Diggs and Steele are now locked up, so you have flexibility. If you want to use the franchise tag next year on Pollard, you could. Would approach $13 million. That's quite a bit of money to pay for a back in what should be a very team-friendly market at the position. There's a lot of good free agents who are going to be out there. I do want to get Lamb's deal done. Maybe Lamb's camp wants to wait for Justin Jefferson. I'm not terribly sure what the status is from that perspective, but that one shouldn't be overly complicated, I don't think. And then, in theory, Dak, and then, you'll figure out the rest of your offense line. Maybe Tyler Biadasz is a player you can work to extend, although I don't know if Dallas wants to pay Steele and Biadasz, still have one on the books, and then also have a big deal coming up for Tyler Smith, in theory, in 3 years or whatever. So, Dallas gets Terence Steele's deal done. Who's next? Sound off in the comments section with what player you want to extend next if you are the Dallas Cowboys. And as always, make sure you are subscribed. Back again tomorrow, Monday, a live show. Do not miss out right here.